Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and I'm joined with Connor.
Hey guys.
We're going to talk about The Night of Part 7. It's called Ordinary Death. Full spoilers as always. So, more of the case, a lot more of the defence in this one. Although not all of it,
No,
because we still have the stepfather stuff to come into play in some way. But a lot of the other stuff was brought up. The hearse driver, the investigator they brought in, the forensics guy, to look around themselves. He came in and dropped a lot of good points, about the knife and how it was a set, and there's one missing, and how that blade couldn't have damaged his hand that way, and went against the coroner.
the hearse driver was only really mentioned as to how they didn't interview him, so might still come back up in some way.
It could. I don't know if there's really much more they can actually say about it, because everything that happened, even though he was creepy as fuck, I don't think there's anything they can use in court in that sense.
Perhaps not.
But what they have used them for is to show that the police maybe didn't actually do a thorough job.
Yeah,
And that's really the point of a lot of what that defence was there with him.
yeah, and that was all before the smoking gun, so to speak.
With the inhaler.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, to show that he broke the usual chain of evidence, and it's
yeah,
made him look a bit sloppy.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
that's
can,
a big no-no, isn't it?
yeah, and you can see him later on, because he's got a sort of subplot going on in this episode where he's about to retire, and you see him ticking his boxes on his pension form and all that. And at the end, after his retirement party, he just looks defeated. He looks,
Yeah,
and I think it's made worse when he's shown up in court to look like he's
he wanted
not.
to go out on a high, didn't he?
And
But
he's
this
come
not.
out looking not very good. Whereas in contrast, the expert that Stone brought in to check the crime scene, even when he was grilled by the DA, he came off looking very good. He was
Yeah,
able
even the
to,
DA was like
yeah.
impressed, I think.
Because even when she brought up points that were valid, she's had these knives for maybe 6 7 years by this point. It's entirely possible that in that time, one of them just went missing. That happens, or it broke and she threw it out. Whatever. Very possible. And he
Yeah.
acknowledges that. He's like, yeah, possibility.
I think that's the biggest difference between him and the coroner. He's like, yeah, that could have happened, but it might not have. Whereas the coroner is like absolute and says there is like no way that he's wrong.
Yeah. He even brought up stuff that I don't think we knew. He mentioned this basement door that was unlocked that I don't remember it coming up before. When he talked about the gate at the back that was ajar.
We'd seen the gate,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that was.
Mm.
Although I was actually a little. See, when they brought up the inhaler and he notices it in the photo, I thought he was going to bring up what I thought back when we first seen that in episode 2. Why is there no blood in the inhaler? Yet it's sitting on the sheets that are covered in blood.
Yeah.
And I really thought Stone was going to dive into that, and he didn't. And I thought that was a bit.
Was a bit odd, wasn't it?
Actually, can I bring up something that I remember from about episode 2 or 3? I can't remember which one it was exactly.
Go on.
Remember a scene of Nazi's dad? He meets his cab co-owners or whatever you want to call them,
Mm.
and he comes out of the restaurant they're in or whatever, and there's someone snapping photos of him.
Yeah, we haven't got anything about it.
No, I was reminded because there's a scene in this episode where Stone's being watched, but at least there I get who that is, because a couple of scenes later the stepdad kind of
Yeah.
confronts him in the gym, so I just assumed that's him. But it reminded me of that scene of the photographs, and I'm like, huh, yeah, they've not brought that up yet.
There's something I remembered while watching it from last week. Not anything like that, but the whole point at the minute is for his dad, he doesn't have the cab, right?
Mm,
So he can't, and the whole thing is he can't drive because that was his car.
yeah.
How's he doing the takeaway delivery that we saw him doing last week?
Bike.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible, but it's just weird.
That's my guess, or maybe the restaurant just has a company car they let the drivers use. I don't know.
That's possible.
Just a
Okay,
thought.
yeah, I'll allow that. It just stuck out to me. I was like, huh, I thought he couldn't do anything.
Actually, given the vest that he was wearing, I would say he was on a bike because he was wearing a high vis
Ah, he
top.
was, wasn't he?
You wouldn't wear that if you were just driving a car,
Yeah, you're right.
so that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Um, so yeah, bringing up stuff in the case, and the expert dude was really interesting to watch. And we started with the coroner who we'd seen be kind of with her a few episodes ago, like talking about what you'd say, and he said the exact thing.
It was literally word for word
Yeah.
the same thing. It's clever.
So that was it was nice to see that exactly play out like it had been like set up a couple of episodes ago, and
Yeah.
seeing how the system works, and then obviously the defense coming in and actually managing to get something out of it that puts doubt on the prosecution. Now, let's talk about the kiss, because
It was weird, wasn't it?
if there's a moment in this episode where I sort of like was like, what are you doing right now? And not in a bad way. And what I mean by that is, it wasn't so much I was going, oh, what? I mean, I was thinking, Chandra, what the hell are you doing, you dozy cow? Stop that. But I
Yeah,
was
I was
also,
thinking, you unprofessional bitch.
yeah, I was. It's funny actually. We got a comment on last week's review, which I've not actually answered yet. But one of the questions in the comment was, "What do you think? How do you think Chandra's doing? It's given that she's not really done like cases before, and this is like probably her first big trial." Now my opinion has changed dramatically after that kiss scene.
Yeah, up to that, I was like, she's not doing too bad here.
Yeah, she's done it, but maybe bit green, bit fresh, but
Yeah,
she's
but-
done an alright job.
And then that happens. And
Then
it's
that
just like,
happens,
ugh.
and I'm like, oh, yeah, Stone wasn't going to kiss him.
No, but this is the thing now. They can bring that up, and like, does that make her biased now? Like, can they use that against her and
I mean-
her case?
I don't think anyone's seen it, so I don't know if it will come up. But
But we saw a lot of cameras in the prison.
true, yeah, that's true.
They made a big deal about that this episode.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The camera footage might come into play. But I was just kind of like aghast, and I don't get me wrong, I was relieved when she immediately stopped and went, "What the fuck am I doing?" and like immediately left. Like at least she reacted appropriately to the craziness that she had just done.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know where to begin with that. Now, Nazi's mother walks out of the courtroom and seems to be of the opinion that her son is guilty at this point.
Yep.
Meanwhile, her dad still seems to be on his side and is doing everything he can, including selling his medallion, or his third of the medallion, back to the other cabbies, which I'm not overly familiar with how the New York cab system works, but I'm guessing that's like a license to be a cabbie kind of thing.
I think it was more like a business agreement. Like the three of them were all like loaned out. It was all on the same name. Like,
Oh no,
so
I
you know
get
what-
that, but I'm just
yeah,
like,
but I don't think it was like I don't think it was a license. I think it was more specifically for those to work as a shift, like as like a personal agreement.
well,
sort of
I
thing.
just said license because it's like you need this to operate, like.
Yeah.
Right, I didn't mean it was physically a license. I just meant it's like a license and that you need it to operate.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, so yeah, apparently a third of that's worth 250 grand. How anyone affords to become a cabbie in New York, I don't know, but on you go.
Yeah. It's a good question.
Yeah. 'Cause I can't afford a third of a medallion. Never mind, presumably a lot of them who maybe have it to themselves.
Maybe less of them do than we think.
Yeah, probably. Maybe they're all sharing cabs. I don't know. So, again, a lot of subplots coming back that sort of been seen throughout. So that one was there because we'd seen him like meet with those other cabbies throughout the season. We'd seen the various people they've been talking to all season. Stone goes to investigate the stepdad, which as we mentioned, leads him into a spot of bother at the gym because the stepdad realizes he's been followed and he threatens his son and his ex-wife, and I will say I did think the scene when he goes to meet the ex who didn't get killed, the rich woman
Yeah.
who was very frank about everything that like happened.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun, maybe a touch too jovial.
Yeah, especially when the younger guy walks in again.
Yeah, and then she immediately starts to like play a bit of footsie with Stone,
Yeah.
or she goes for it and he pulls back. But so I don't know. That was so I had a couple of issues with this episode in that sense. I thought that seems a bit too jovial, and I did think the kiss was really kind of cringy. And I think the problem with the kiss more than anything else is that I don't think it's been seeded. I don't think the moment when she actually kisses him, I'm thinking, oh yeah, she's clearly been having feelings for him in the last couple of episodes. For me, it really came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it kind of comes only in that scene. Like you get
Yeah.
it like a bit before it's happening that this is about to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. As soon as the way she looks at him, the way she puts her hand on him, his hand, like
Yeah,
like this weird subtext of the scene comes in, and you're like, oh wait, what was about to happen? Oh no,
but it wasn't there at any point before this,
no,
which is weird.
and it really took me aback, and
Which is why I think it's going to come up next week as a plot thing, because why else would it be there out of nowhere?
you may be right, but even that for me won't justify it. Just like they should have.
No,
shown
no,
it better than
I'm
this.
not
Yeah.
saying that it's a good thing. I think that's the only reason I can think that they did do it without any seeding was that they needed it as a plot point.
Which is a bit sloppy, if that is the reason why it happened.
Yeah.
So, we'll just need to see how that plays out. So last main plot thread then is in the prison. We actually forgot to mention this last week, but one of Freddy's like right hand men is sexually abusing the son of the mother who's sneaking the drugs in her crotch.
Yeah.
And we seen Naz seen this last week, and the guy threatened him. And it just kind of slipped our minds last week because we had so much stuff to talk about with the case and whatever. But that was set up last week, and then this week we see that first of all, Naz is just going to see the mum himself, like in the visits.
Yeah.
So she's just casually pulling them out and giving them straight to him. He's looking her dead in the eyes. He's eating something that she just had up there. But when he comes back in, her son. This is later in the episode, admittedly, but when he comes back in from the trial and whatever, and he goes to the bathroom, he's killed himself in the corner.
Die.
And as a result of this, Freddy sort of senses that there's something he doesn't know, and he asks Naz, and Freddy kills his previous right-hand man. In a very slick way, might I add, so that he doesn't get caught. As the
It does.
culprit.
It's very, very quick movement, isn't it?
Yeah. He just sort of walks up, quickly slits his throat, and walks away without anyone kind of seeing, which it's played well. Like, I didn't immediately go, that's bullshit, people would see that. Like, they played it the exact right way where I can buy that he did that without
Because
getting seen.
no one was looking at him.
Yeah.
Naz was at the guard's office.
He was distracting
thing,
him.
distracting them. All the other people were watching the TV, so why would they be looking at him?
Yeah, and he was sitting at the back, so no one was, like,
Yeah.
looking in his direction, so... yeah, and that was how we ended.
Yeah. We also learn a bit more that Naz is definitely not what we thought.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, the moment that actually probably the biggest shock in
You just feel everyone on their
Yeah.
side, just their hearts just dropped, don't they?
yeah the biggest moment in the case actually is when they're interviewing the teacher at the old school where Naz pushed the kid down the stairs, and she's asking him about it, and they're talking about 9/11 and the tension in the school for the Muslim kids after that and everything. And the teacher says, but Naz is the only one who sent 2 kids home, or two kids to the hospital. And there was this, and I didn't even clock it. Like,
Did you not?
I
I
didn't
got
even-
it. I was like, shit.
I didn't even clock it, and then I seen her gulp and say 2, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
I got it before because it pauses for you to clock it. Like before she reacts, there is like a physical pause for you to process it.
It didn't occur to me until she gulped and said 2, and I'm like, oh yeah, it was only the one. Where the fuck's this other kid coming from?
Yeah.
And I'm
A
like,
full Coke can to the head.
oofed.
It's gotta hurt.
Yeah. Actually, the other moment in the court scenes that really struck me out as looking bad for Naz, maybe not even to the jury because they might not even have noticed this, but the way he kept smirking at the kid that he sold his
The drugs too, yeah.
his medication to looked really like, you don't seem that innocent anymore. You seem like a skivy little shit now.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how much is like just that we didn't know and like that we're just seeing it differently, or how much has been his personality. Has it been amplified by prison, or has it changed him to act that way, or is that just
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have to echo some of my concerns from last week. I don't have anything to add to them. I just, now that there's literally only one episode left, we've got the finale next week.
And we've got what, one other suspect still.
One suspect. I am just like, this was still good. As much as I had a couple of complaints, this was still good. And that moment when when he mentions the two kids going to the hospital was like proper like gut wrenching. Oh shit, stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm worried how this is going to
Concerned,
end.
yeah.
I'm just
I mean,
oh, I don't know how this is going to go down now, and I'm worried.
I feel like they need a longer episode, like the first one.
I can see it being longer. I can see it being hour 20 again.
Yeah, I kind of hope it is. I think it needs the extra 20, 30 minutes, whatever.
But
Because there's a lot to do in this last episode now.
there really is. I kind of thought we'd be further along in some respects than we were.
I think we spent a lot longer on the prison politics than we were expecting.
Yeah, because the entire middle of the show was that really, like, for a lot of it.
Or like 3, 4, 5 were all entirely that. There was no case progression really, or minimal case progression.
Yeah, minimal. So no, well, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So Night of Part 7. Let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Thoughts, theories, feelings. Do tell us. Did we miss anything? Because sometimes we're going through all these details so quickly we do miss stuff, or if we just forget to talk about it rather than miss it, I suppose I should say. But yeah, let us know. Like and subscribe and all that jazz helps us out a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week for the finale.